Welcome everyone to another edition of the Motivate Podcast, where we believe that believing that you can is way more profitable than believing that you can. I want to continue to have this conversation about our belief systems. Our belief systems matter. The way that we think and feel, what we believe about our success matters. What we believe about ourselves, ladies and gentlemen, it matters. It really matters. And so in our earlier conversation, we were talking about core beliefs and what are some of our core beliefs. And so let's take a look at some of those core beliefs that we discussed in past shows. Core beliefs, your beliefs are a statement of your values. Your core beliefs are a statement of your values. Your beliefs are a public, visible declaration of your expected outcomes. Turn off the news and turn on your vision. Turn off the news and turn on your aspirations. Turn off the news and turn on your motivation. Your belief must be precise and it must be practical. Specifically, what do you believe? And how practical is it in line with the direction, the call, the gifts, your talents, the skills that you have? Your beliefs will guide the actions of all involved. Listen, if you're leading a team, if you're leading an organization, if you're leading your family, your beliefs will help guide the actions of everyone that's involved. So your belief system must be so strong that it will rally the team. You know, I read an article, a story not too long ago about a young lady that her parents impacted her belief system from a negative standpoint. And as the article went, it was a young lady when she was born. She was a small baby, and her parents took her into their arms, and they gently rocked her back and forth. And then they looked at the baby and they said to the baby, I know this is shocking, this is graphic, but this is what they said. They said, "You seem to be the most ugly child I've ever seen." Can you imagine that? You're a newborn. Your parents say to you, "You seem to be the most ugly child that I've ever seen." Now, that didn't faze the child. The second date, same thing. The parents picked the baby up, looked the baby in the face and said, you are the most ugly child I've ever seen. The parents said that to their child every single day. And you know what? It never impacted or fazed the baby until the age of 10. There's 365 days in a year, every year up to the age of 10. The parents told the young lady, "You are the most ugly person I've ever seen." 3,650 times this young lady heard, "You seem to be the most ugly person I've ever seen." And it didn't impact her until she believed it. The day that she believed it, it impacted her belief system. So your belief must be positive and inspiring. If it works in a negative, it works in the positive. Your beliefs are the anchor to your organization. Let me ask you a question. What do you believe as relates to the success of your organization? What do you believe as relates to the success of your organization? Do you believe that your organization can make the difference? Do you believe that your organization can turn things around? You know, at the start of 2020, unfortunately for many of us, we were impacted by COVID. And COVID caused many businesses to close. COVID caused many individuals to lose their jobs. The unemployment rate spiked in the U.S. and families were desperate. I mean, they were unemployed and marriages were affected. You know, it's funny. I was looking at a stat that showed that during this period of the height of COVID, where there was a shutdown, that little shutdown of the country, and you measure that time period up until almost today, really, is that during that time period, there was an elevation in divorces, and at the same time, there was an elevation in births. Spending time at home, nothing else to do. Let's procreate. Or couples are realizing that they didn't really have much in value, much in common, much to connect with. They were so used to the routine of one of them or both of them went out in the morning. They didn't really engage one another and came back home. And then they could continue engaging, but that time apart worked for them. And then all of a sudden, now they're in an environment where they're spending isolated time with one another, and they discover that they didn't really like one another, or the pressure of lack of finances. Outside of COVID, financial stress was like number one or number two as it relates to the cause of divorce in the US. But it's all about belief systems. What do you believe as it relates to the movement, the direction, the establishment of your success, your organization, your family, your team? What do you believe? Finally, in earlier conversation, we talked about the importance of wiring your mind for the shift in the market, pivot. You got to do what I call the PTFAR, 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 P as in Paul, T as in Tom, F as in Frank, A as in action, R as in results. Programming, thinking, feeling, action, results. PTFAR. Programming, thinking, feeling, actions, results. Programming, thinking, feeling, actions, results. It's the PTFAR. Programming, thinking, feeling, actions, results. Programming is the idea of creating a set of instructions, right? To tell the mind how to perform a task and think. What are you currently thinking? When was the last time you evaluated the way that you think? When was the last time you evaluated your belief system? All right, when was the last time you did that? Understand this, friend. The reality is that you tell yourself what to think. You tell you what to think. You tell you what to think. You tell you what to think. And then we looked at how to tell yourself what to think. How do you tell yourself what to think? How do you tap into that? Right? And so our goal with Motivate podcast is to assist people in this area of motivate. I personally believe, this is a personal belief that I have, that you don't really motivate people. I don't really motivate people. I provide assistance. I provide aid to some level of motivation that you should already have. So Motivate Podcast is about providing motivate. And so we've been on this journey, and we've been investigating our belief system. Because at Motivate Podcast, we believe that believing that you can is way more profitable than believing that you can't. I'll see you.